What I really want to talk about is the myth-making that I think has gone on concerning how Reagan traveled the path to the role of peacemaker with the Soviet Union. I think he followed a path. I think that a lot of recent studies have made a different argument and have recycled what has become a myth or a legend, specifically that Reagan, from the time he became president and even before then, was a nuclear abolitionist who believed in the elimination of nuclear weapons entirely from the earth, and whose peacemaking with the Soviet Union and whose Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, announced in 1983, were both parts of the unfolding of this single grand conception and grand strategy that was present in Reagan's mind from at least the beginning of his presidency and probably before. Some of you may know the 1962 John Ford Western, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, at the end of which the newspaper editor says, when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. And it seems to me that a lot of historians and also accomplished journalists have lately been printing the legend regarding Reagan's peacemaking, and when that happens, I think it's time for some of us to say, hold on, let's take a step back and take a look at what the evidence really says. I'll just give a couple of examples. I mean, Gil Troy in his book says that Reagan was a pacifist, that he harbored a pacifist streak based on his religious upbringing. John Diggins in his book on Reagan calls Reagan a reluctant Cold Warrior. These statements are offered with no documentary support whatever, which is not surprising because I think it would be hard to find. One last example, David Hoffman, who's a journalist but an accomplished one, his book, The Dead Hand, won the 2010 Pulitzer Prize for general nonfiction. He says in the beginning of his book, in 1980, the great communicator did not, this is a quote, the great communicator did not communicate his dreams about a world without the atomic bomb. His campaign advisors weren't sure what to make of it when Reagan talked privately about abolishing nuclear weapons. And the real money quote is in a note in the back of the book attached to the section where Hoffman writes, quote, the author covered the Reagan campaign as a reporter for Knight Ridder newspapers and never picked up on Reagan's nuclear abolitionist views, unquote. And this, I don't detect any irony here. Pulitzer Prize. You know, and using Occam's razor, I think we should conclude that if this skilled journalist, experienced journalist, did not see or hear evidence of Reagan's nuclear abolitionism in 1980, it's because it wasn't there. It's because it didn't exist.